Hi everyone, Happy New Year. And it's that time of year, how to create long-lasting goals. So depending on where you are in your own life journey and how positive and how half glass the full is to you as to what you believe is feasible and achievable over the coming few months will really have an impact on what actually starts to manifest in your life. But I wanted to share a little bit of research with you first so we can have a bit of a sobering thought around whether that's manifesting our desires, aligning with our true purpose, or even just thinking about the daily goals that we can set for ourselves. So goals has been synonymous with, January the 1st for a long time. And according to research, it's only a small percentage of people actually at New Year as part of their resolutions that feel that they can actually keep their resolutions by the end of the year. And that's 9% of Americans, 31% though of Britons who made resolutions in 2023 claim to have kept them for a good long while. I think for about 13 weeks, that was it. British adults typically maintain resolutions for about 4.5 months, which is actually longer than I anticipated. And if we think about the psychology of setting goals and behaviour change, we know that it takes at least 30, 60 or 90 days before people really start to feel the benefit of whatever that goal is. So research suggests that setting realistic approach orientated goals leads us to better success rates, and one study showed that 55% of participants with approach orientated goals considered themselves successful after 1 year. So that's not too bad, is it? 55%. So I wanted to share some of the tips for setting and achieving realistic goals. And as someone myself who has been setting goals fairly regularly, most months I have a goal and a focus, and that can be related to wellbeing goal and business goals. So here we go. So start at a time, a genuine need to change, not just tradition. So if you're going to set a goal and you want to get healthy, well and fit, don't do it just because it's January. In fact, I start my goals mostly in December. Set challenging but measurable smaller chunks. So we know that sometimes some of the goals are big. It can feel too daunting, or if you put in too much effort too soon, if you're not that fit and you try to run the 5K straight away, then we know that'll have an impact on you, and you might wake up feeling depleted and you've lost all motivation. And there's nothing worse of really getting quite positive and excited about what you're going to do in the coming days and weeks, and then not being able to achieve that. So we want to make you feel that you're making small strides and successes every day. That's the difference. We want to switch those neural pathways into a positive frame and allow you to start to feel good regardless of how small the goal is, or that we perceive it to be small. So expect and plan for obstacles. So for example, if you're setting goals around diet, we know that going out and eating in restaurants and being on the move all the time can make it a little bit more challenging to eat the kind of foods that are going to help you stay on track. But there's lots of information on the internet about diet and the type of diets. I'm not going to go into that. I've studied nutrition and I know that we've all got different constitutions, and we need to take into account what our own bodies in particular need. Now, I've actually utilised professional support to help me determine that. And I think it was last January, and I had a few health goals, but also was struggling to really get some muscles activated in my body, that I went to see a kinesiologist, and I've seen 2 different people, and they use muscle testing to help you decide whether or not you've got any missing nutrients in the body, so that I don't have to work out which ones I take, or don't end up taking copious amounts of nutrition that my body doesn't need. And was able to also sort of move me forward much quicker towards realising getting back into the gym. So focus on approach orientated goals as well, rather than avoidance ones. Write down your goals to increase your commitment, and create a new hobby or spend more time on the current ones, as these tend to last longer. So one of the things that I talk about in other work that I do is, if we can start to focus, whether it is 5 or 10 minutes a day, on practicing mindfulness, meditation, doing some yoga and stretching every morning, or getting those paints out and starting to draw just for the sheer enjoyment of it, By activating the enjoyment chemicals in the body, we know that that will have an influence over the rest of our day. And the more that we do that, the more that we focus on the things that we love and enjoy, the more that that can help us stay motivated. And sometimes with some side effects and outcomes that we wouldn't have anticipated had we not done it. I've certainly spoke to quite a few women who took up painting and have done some really nice pieces of art, and how they've found that they've been able to lose track of time, and their mental health and well-being improved as a result. And that was a side effect that nobody really knew until they started to do that. So the Japanese approach to setting and working on improvement is on 1% improvement a day, known as Kaizen. This philosophy emphasises continuous incremental improvement rather than drastic changes. And I've certainly seen that in the approaches I've taken. So originally when I started doing yoga quite a few years ago, I was only doing 1 class a week. And I knew that that wasn't enough really to really get the benefits of doing the yoga, whether that was strength, flexibility and flow, as well as the benefits of the meditation and mindfulness. So I started practicing at home, and it wasn't until I did my car accident that I had to really practice stretching on a day-to-day basis just to get the body warmed up and out of aches and pains. That then I started seeing improvement, and it was through that incremental approach daily and over the accumulation of that over the week and over the months that I really started to notice what we call the compound effect. So these small improvements compound over time, leading to a significant long-term change. So consistency is key. Whatever it is that you set your mind to, if you want to increase your mental health and well-being, then practicing mindfulness and meditation can really make a difference. However, if you've never done it before and your mind is really busy and it's hard for you to slow down, you can think about things, other approaches. Maybe movement meditation, maybe a flow yoga. Instead, because when you focus on yoga, it's much harder to focus on what's going through your mind. So you're so busy trying to make the moves and do the asanas that are involved in that. So consistency is key. Break down any large goals. So if you want to go traveling, for example, in September across the world, you probably want to break that down into goals of maybe thinking about the kind of energy that you're going to need while you're there, whether or not you need more stamina. Do you need to go back in the gym, start walking, lifting weights, doing some incline work, so that you get your body prepared for the travel that you want to do, especially if that means going from one place to the next, and turn those goals into small, manageable tasks. So avoiding impatience. The method advises against rushing or taking big leaps. Instead, emphasize slow, steady and consistent progress. So I went back in the gym in December. That was my goal for December. And I knew that I needed to really start at a slow pace. And that was really just even using the machines without the weights, just to lift those and see how my body responded. And within a week, I went twice. I was putting some weights on some of the machines and then again seeing how my body responded, because I didn't want to end up feeling so tired and fatigued and having a sort of inflammation reaction to that. I decided that it was a good idea to take that step. So by week 3, I noticed that I could add a little bit more weights and do more reps. And so even though I'd been to the gym years earlier and knew what weights I could do back then, there was no way I was going to be able to lift the same. And so I took that time, and initially it can feel quite frustrating because, you know, you're not in the gym that long, but I really did notice the effect that I had on my body. But it stopped me, as I said, getting really tired and needing loads of rest, and then losing motivation to go and do any more of that. So goals are applicable in different areas, whether that is business, personal development or health and productivity. And sometimes that longer term focus, and the reason I wanted to go back in the gym and do more on the treadmill as well, wasn't just about strength, get the flexibility through the yoga and the stretching, but I also wanted to increase the incline so that I could increase my lung capacity, so that when I go away on more trips, I can go out and hike more, walk more, and for longer amounts of time. So it's a good way of preparing the body to do that. And it's January, it's cold, so it's much nicer to start that process in the gym. So that's just sort of the key headlines when we're thinking about goals. I'm going to be doing another video at some point on how you can break down goals if you utilise the wellbeing wheel. But if you're interested at the moment of working out what the wellbeing wheel looks like, go online and type in the wellbeing wheel. There's quite a few different versions on there, and you can have a look at the different segments of your life through that tool, and you can rate out of 10 how satisfied you are in each area. And then you can decide what is the smallest goal that you could implement this week. So some of those areas might be health. So it might be that you drink more water, a glass of water every few hours, that reduce the amount of sweets and cakes that you're eating. So maybe you don't buy them, or you only have them on Fridays, that you get back in the gym. And so you decide how many are you going to go twice a week? Are you going to go swimming? If so, how many 11s are you going to do? Maybe you'll do 5 if you've not been for a long time, and see how your body responds to that. So the aim is to feel successful at the end of the week as to whatever goals you've started to implement, no matter how small. So good luck with that. Comment, like and subscribe on the page, and let me know what goals you've designed for yourself and what you've started to implement. And if you want any direct support or a kick-off session with me, a 2-hour session, I've got a introductory offer for January. So just email me on mail gbb555@hotmail.com, and we can have a conversation about working together in some sort of way.